So my name is Caleb. 26 years old. Well, actually about to be 26
Nice.
in December.
Happy early
Um,
birthday.
Thank you, thank you. I'm here in actually McAllen, Texas,
Okay.
south of Texas, and
Nice.
I've been trading about. Well, I want to say I started my journey about 2020,
Okay.
but I want to say actively trading for 3 years almost.
Nice.
Yeah, so in the beginning of the new year, 2024, it'll be about 3 years of, actively trading because my first year was just kind of like learning,
Pro
all the
few.
information, the basics and all that. So yeah.
Right. So going back to when you first started trading to now, how do you feel like is the biggest shift that you had to make in order to be, as you say, an active trader, a funded trader?
I think the biggest shift would have to be just learning how to trade like from a demo account
Hmm.
to an active account with live money.
Hmm.
And along with that, just knowing how to gather your emotions and gather your strategy and really know what you're doing to make that shift into live trading, because if you don't know what you're doing, it's just going to delay the process of you being profitable in the future.
Absolutely. So how has your strategy changed? Have you started with the same strategy that you're with now, or
Mm.
has that changed over time?
Um, I would say my strategy has changed just a little bit,
Mhm.
but for the most part, it's kind of been the same.
Good.
It's been a lot of I know a lot of people are swing traders, long-term holders. For me, I've always been a just a short-term position scalper trader.
Got it.
It can last anywhere from 10 minutes to 30 minutes to maybe a couple hours, but that'll be it.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, it's usually been like that. The only thing that has changed has maybe been, the time frame of which I take my entries.
Okay.
But nonetheless, it's always been scalp trading, price action, understanding, your supply and demand, and trading within those zones and stuff like that.
Got it. Got it. So walk me through a typical day for you. Do you also work another job on top of trading, or what is it a day to day look like for you as a trader?
Yeah, so I'm pretty flexible right now. I think towards the end of the year, I'm looking to, go trading full time.
Awesome.
Right now, I'm a server. I serve tables at a restaurant.
Awesome.
I've been working in a restaurant for a long time, and it's been beneficial
Of course.
because I usually just I'll work the night shift,
Hmm.
so I like to trade the New York session.
Okay.
So I'll trade in the morning, and then go to work at night. But
Perfect.
so yeah, so my typical day, would be wake up, I gotta have my coffee,
Hmm.
um, at least have an hour before I get on the charts.
Hmm.
That way, have a clear mindset.
Right.
So I like to get up, get my mind right, have some coffee, and then start checking the charts, and then once the bell rings, and I'm in the zone.
Good. That's amazing.
Mhm.
So take me to when you first found Smart Prop Trader. How did you find us, and how's your experience been with us so far?
I want to say I found you all probably I probably found you guys a year ago.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, and so I was what got me interested with you guys, because I think we all know of Blake, who was had a previous YouTube channel, and he was
Of course.
reviewing all these prop firms, and
Yep.
he was going over the pros and cons, and then I found that he was he had this prop firm
Yep.
going on. It really got me interested, and so I decided to start buying some challenges from you guys, some experience on your platform, and I think the experience has been good. I think what sets you guys apart from other ones, what I've noticed and a lot of people have noticed, is I think your support team.
Hmm.
You guys are very fast to reach out or answer any questions that any of us traders may have. So I think you guys are great, and
Thank you.
hope you continue to do great.
Yeah, no, we love that. Thank you for your feedback. We love our support team, and we want to make sure that our traders are, highly supported. We know that, your time is important, your money is important, so we want to make sure that
Hmm.
that's a top priority for you and for us. So, yeah, thank you for that. How would you say you manage risk in trading? What steps do you take to minimize, potential losses?
So when it comes to risk, for me is, the best way I can minimize my risk is, the trades that I do take, they're only A quality setups.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna take a trade if I don't see it.
Hmm.
I don't know where I got this from. Somebody put it out there, but I want to trade. Trade when you have a trade. Don't trade because you need to trade or you have to trade. You know, you want to let your setups and your strategy come to you,
Hmm.
and over time, okay, I've seen this plenty of times enough where I'm comfortable taking a trade.
Hmm.
Take it. I've gone through my fair share of getting in trades, early on in the beginning, trying to figure everything out where, you're just forcing it. And it's because, you want to make money and, you want to accelerate, but, you got to take your time
Yeah.
and know that, you know, to minimize risk is you really got to take those trades that just make sense.
Hmm.
And that's just number one for me on the risk management.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great point. So within that, how do you stay up to date on market trends and news? Do you have certain resources that you rely on to kind of keep up to date on those things?
So for me, I just use Forex Factory.
Okay, yeah.
I just look at the high impact news
Hmm.
that will be coming out.
Yeah.
It's mainly those red folders that I look out for.
Mhm.
Because I only trade indices. I only trade the
Okay.
Nasdaq 100.
That was going to
So
be my next question, what you trade. So,
okay, yeah. So I only trade the Nasdaq 100
okay.
indices. So I always just look out for the U.S. high impact news.
Mhm.
If it's a red folder, I'll just if news comes out at 9 a.m., I will let the news come out. I won't trade, and I
Mhm.
usually wait about 10 to 15 minutes after news comes out,
Okay.
and if markets look okay, I see my setup, then
Yeah.
I'll enter a trade.
Yeah.
Because too many times I've gone, I've been in a current trade and I see that news is going to come out, but I'll continue to stay in it. And the
Mhm.
news comes out, and then I don't know how it is with maybe Forex, but with Nasdaq, those prices will spike up, spike down,
Mhm.
they'll hit your stop loss, and then it'll just kind of correct itself. So
Yeah.
I've learned just to use Forex Factory,
Mhm.
watch for those high impact news, and again, that's just another way to manage your risk. Look out for the
Sure.
news.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
How would you say you manage kind of like the daily stress of trading? Is there something that you do outside of your computer that kind of helps you just decompress a little bit on a stressful day? How do you manage that on a daily basis?
Hmm. Well, I think when it comes to de-stressing, I would say during an active trade
Mhm.
is in my office. I have my laptop,
Mhm.
and maybe I'm either waiting for a trade or I'm in a trade, and right next to me I actually have a piano. And
Oh, nice.
sometimes if I'm feeling just too stressed or I'm overthinking, I just take 5 minutes away from the chart. I go play some music,
Nice.
just kind of like get away real quick, and then okay, because sometimes you just gotta let those emotions calm down,
Absolutely.
and then you gotta get some retrospect, and then you come back to the church and say, okay, you're better.
That's so cool. That's the first I've ever heard uh,
Yeah,
of a trader, going to play the piano,
yeah. I
play an
mean,
instrument.
we all
That's
have
so
our
cool.
own little hobbies and things that we like, but for me, I've been around music all my life, so
Cool. That's
and,
amazing.
yeah, and piano's probably my second instrument.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm mainly like a drummer guy. I play a lot of
Cool.
drums and get the stress out. Hit the drums.
I love that.
Yeah, so
We'll have to do
that's just
another,
one
we'll
thing.
have to do a whole other video of you showing us your skills.
Yeah,
While you're
definitely.
trading, maybe we could do, if you're playing the
Yeah,
drums, you're doing a trade.
yeah,
That'd
for
be
sure.
great. Awesome. Are you able to walk me through a recent trade you made, or maybe like a favorite trade that you made, and kind of what contributed to that success?
So basically, like one of the trades I took today, so I basically look out for breakout patterns. So a break of a trend. So if it's going down, if I see that there's a down trend
Mhm.
and then there's a little retrace, I'll draw a trend line, and then once it breaks the trend line, I'll enter a trade,
Okay.
and then I usually take that trade to a support zone where that retracement was,
Mhm.
and then I just take it to that zone, and then I'll just secure my profits,
Got it.
um, and then that's kind of how I'll make more money in the end, is if I just kind of close out my profit, and
Mhm.
that makes sense. Because if I continue to hold, I probably could continue to hold,
Mhm.
but if I see that my profit is in a support zone,
Mhm.
for me it just makes sense just to secure my profits,
Right.
and then if I see if it breaks the support, then I'll get in again, maybe.
Got it.
But yeah, I always just look out for those breakout patterns, break up trend lines, break of support and resistance,
Mhm.
and I usually use I use three SMAs.
Okay.
So I'll use a 200 SMA, the
Mhm.
50, and a 10.
Okay.
And so usually, those really help in my trading, because, the retracements love to hit either like the 200 or the 50,
Mhm.
and then you kind of look how prices react around those lines.
Mhm.
And then usually what I look for is either, if it hits the 200, I look for it to come back down to the 50. And then
Mhm.
if it breaks to 50, it'll go back down, and I'll get in a trade after that.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
Hmm.
Cool. Thanks for sharing.
Hmm.
What would you say some of the biggest challenges you have faced so far, in the last few years of you trading?
Right. There's like so many you
You're
can
like, which
choose
one?
from. Yeah. I mean, I think going back to the whole emotional aspect of it is learning how to control my emotions
Yeah.
while trading, learning how to be patient and learning how to be disciplined.
Mhm.
If you can master how to be patient and how to be disciplined, you know, you can be a great profitable trader.
Mhm.
You know, I think over time and over practice, it definitely builds up.
Mhm.
But in the beginning, that's something I had to get over, was just like, being more patient and being more disciplined
Mhm.
and just being more consistent.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's probably a pretty common thing across the board
Yeah,
for a lot of traders. It takes time
definitely. Definitely.
to find that level ground for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
How do you evaluate and select the assets or markets that you trade? I know we kind of touched on this, but what factors do you consider in that decision-making process when you execute a trade?
Yeah. Well, when I first started trading, um, I was really interested actually in the Forex.
Mhm.
It was very soon after that I learned about, indices, like the NASDAQ
Mhm.
and US 30.
Yeah.
And for me, I just, over time, I kind of liked how the indices market moved better compared to the Forex.
Okay.
We all have our own preference.
Right, right.
Preference. I know a lot of people who love trading Forex and they don't trade indices, or a lot of people trade, futures. For me, I just really honed in on, trading the indices, and I like how it moves.
Yeah.
I like how the trends are. For me, it works great for my, my breakout patterns, my trend line breaks. Um, the momentum I like, because the momentum is a lot of part of my strategy as well, how it moves. So for me, just a preference thing. I learned very quickly that, trading indices was just for me, and I liked it better compared to the Forex market.
Yeah, that's great. You got to listen to yourself and what works best for you. That's kind of the beauty of
Hmm.
this industry is there's so many
Hmm.
different avenues you can go down, so many different strategies that you can use
Yeah.
because every trader is the same, right? So you got
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah. And there's a million of different ways you can approach the trading charts.
yeah,
You just gotta find one that fits you and stick with it.
definitely. So how do you track and measure your success with certain trades? Like, do you keep a notebook or do you have a system that you use or how do you make
Yeah.
sure you're on the right track?
Hmm. So in the very beginning, And I think I should probably get back to it, but I know in the very beginning that was a very pivotal point,
Mhm.
was when, I really just started, taking screenshots of my trades, and I would put them in a document, and
Mhm.
then it had all my trades, and I would write, what I saw, what I felt, and I would see, okay, this was my setup.
Yeah.
I would write, how long I was in the trade, what time was the trade, and then I kind of track that, kind of every day,
Yeah.
and so like this week, I ended the green. Today I ended in the red. The next day I was in the green, and then at the very end of the month, I was like, okay, I was profitable by this much.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that was a way, and it's a great way to track your progress.
For sure.
I've heard people who done it on a journal.
Mhm.
I know there's websites out there where it'll track your performance as well. But I know even on the SPT flat platform, it'll show you your win rate,
Right.
and how much you're making per trade. So that's another way to track my progress.
Definitely. Yeah, I think just at the end of the day, it's probably so important for you to have that information just for longevity in this industry, right? Is like,
Hmm.
okay, how was I thinking when I saw this trade, or
Yeah,
what did
and
I
if
do to
it
execute that?
of course, and if it's a bad trade, you really want to document your bad trades as well,
Right.
because you got to look back on your bad trades and you got to fix those mistakes.
For sure.
And that's really what makes a profitable, successful trader, is learning on the countless mistakes that you're going to make in the
Yeah.
very beginning. You got to get those mistakes and do those loops and hurdles, before you can really start making good money and higher win rate. It's just learning those mistakes, and you got to do it. You got to do your homework.
Absolutely. So, kind of tying into this, what advice would you give to somebody wanting to get into the industry right now? With everything that you know, what would you tell them?
Mhm. For sure. I mean, the first word that comes to my mind, and I know I touched on it earlier, is you have to be consistent.
Hmm.
Consistency is key. If this is something that you really want to pursue, and I think I would also say is, you got to know that you want to do this. I think it's better to know that you want to do it than kind of be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Because I don't think you're not going to succeed at all if you're 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Yeah.
You got to know that you want it, and with being consistent, I always told myself, if I'm being consistent, every day, it's impossible to see a good result.
Yeah.
And that's something that kind of just gave me motivation. Is that I may not say it now, but consistency will show the result I'm looking for. And if you're new, I think you just gotta be consistent, be patient, don't rush into it. Learn as much as you can, and I would also say enjoy the journey, because you'll enjoy the journey. Don't focus on the destination on day one.
Mhm. It's a
Enjoy
long
the
road.
it's
It's
a
a
long
long journey.
road, it's a long journey, and I think most profitable traders, you know they take 3+ years. I've heard 3 years, I've heard 5 years, I've heard people who took them 8 years.
Yeah.
For me, it took almost 3 to 4 years.
Mhm.
So it just takes patience and consistency, and you will get there.
Yeah. I love that. That's great. Lastly, what's your next goal? I know trading with Smart Prop Trader. So what's your, long-term goal, maybe 3, 5 months down the road as a
Mhm.
trader and as a trader with SPT?
I think for SPT, I want to continue to trade with you guys as long as possible. I think you guys are a phenomenal company. And as far as outside of trading, I think trading really gives you a good opportunity to gather capital and invest that, money in other things you want to do with your life.
Absolutely.
For me, me and my wife actually, very interested in owning rental property. Myself, I would actually love to maybe, own a couple cars and maybe have a little car rental business on the side, because I'm into cars.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of little different things that, I'm looking forward to with this, trading capital and potential money to make in the future. So being with you guys, and also venturing into other streams of income with it.
Of course, yeah. I think that's so important. I'm glad you said that too, because so many people probably, look at this industry as, get rich quick and I'm gonna, live this dream life. But
Hmm.
like you said, having multiple streams of income and creating a life for you and your wife that's going to set you up
Hmm.
for not only just, the next year, but potentially, your kids' lives and
Hmm.
like that. And so I think that's
Yeah.
cool and really smart that you want to use that for something more than just
Yeah.
to make a quick buck. You want to
Yeah, of
actually
course.
set up
You
for a
can't
future.
put all your eggs in one basket.
Right.
You got to be smart with the money that you do make,
Yeah.
and you can make very smart decisions, and that's what I want to do.
I love that. That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure getting to know you, and so excited for your payout. Wishing you the best of luck and all the payouts in the future, and all of your
Thank you.
endeavors. It's going to be amazing to watch.
Yes, thank you.